Before we start this video today, there's something I would like to say. I would just like to say thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you who have viewed my channel and watched the things I do. I just enjoy your comments, and I just enjoy knowing that you like what we're doing here. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope we can keep you interested. I never leave them sit with the gas on. This tractor has been sitting, this old 70 Oliver, 1937, been sitting all winter, and I left the battery in it all winter, and I'm hoping it'll start, but we better check the oil before we start. I never start a tractor without checking the oil. Turn on the gas, check the oil. And she's good. How about that? It's all right, we don't mind. All right. The gas, choke switch. Check the oil. She's good. Turn the gas on. That's the lights. I can't remember how to run these things. action. Dusty. When it started, I sure like these old tractors. Just love them. Okay, let's make it run, should we? I hope we can make it run. finally looking like summer around here, and I see a lot of antique tractors going down the road all painted up, and it's kind of getting me the bug of tractor show time, so, and parade time. So I thought, you know what I should do? I should get mine out and see what has to be done, what has to be fixed up, and what has to be taken care of before I can show them. And it's a 1951 model, 50 model actually. It's a 50. Anyway, it started kind of hard. The battery was weak. But other than that, it needs a good hosing down, cleaning up. But it was covered all winter, but they still get dirty. The tires seem to be all right. They're holding air. They held wear all winter. They're old, but they're going to work. There's not much I have to do to this one. This tractor runs pretty decent. Starts right up. This is the tractor that when I was growing up, I worked for my brother-in-law on his farm, and this is the tractor that I drove all the time out there. I drove it for many years. Then when he passed away, it went up on his auction. I said, well, I'm going to have it no matter what it costs me. And only one guy wanted it more than me. But anyway, I got it. I painted it up, decaled it, made it work, and it did work good. The tractor was always in good shape. It was always a good starting tractor. We always took good care of it. But that's the one I drove for years and years and years. Next one we got out was the second tractor I ever drove in my life. It belonged to my dad. It's a 1948 John Deere Model A tractor, and he bought it. He got a good deal on it because it had been rented. The dealer rented it to a foundry, and they ran a blower on a belt with it, and so he couldn't sell it as a new tractor. So he got it. He bought it basically a new tractor, only it had been used a little bit like a demonstrator. But anyway, it's a 1948. We got a cultivator and a hay mower for it, and that's the second tractor I drove in my life. This is the one that. The first one was the Armoline. That had a hand clutch because my legs wouldn't reach the clutch. Well, this had a hand clutch too, but it was too hard for me to pull back. It was really hard shifting and everything. But as soon as I mastered the R, then I could run this John Deere, and we ran it night and day. Pulled a 216 bottom plow with it, and I'd get out of school early, and I'd come home and plow. Get on a tractor and plow until about midnight almost. Then I'd come in, I'd eat supper, and then I'd go to bed, and I'd wake up in the night and I'd say, hey, I think I forgot to shut that tractor off. It's still running. I could still hear it running when I was trying to sleep. But my dad would never replace the muffler on the thing, and it shoot a flame out of the stack about 8-10 inches high, pulling that plow. We plowed 80 acres with it. Then later on we plowed 160 with it. Cultivated all the corn. A 2-row cultivator. Cut hay with it. That's how I broke my front tooth on the steering wheel when the hay mower. A gear fell off of the brake into the transmission, locked it up tight, and I flew forward into the steering wheel. Lucky it didn't break anything. I just took it apart, put the gear back on, put a key in it, and away we went again. But if there was no gophers, you could cut hay pretty darn fast. But we ran the baler with this thing, hauled in loads. It pulled a case combine. Drove it for many years. Good old tractor. I loved it. I do have to fix the throttle lever is loose up here. There's a set screw in there. I have to adjust that up because I couldn't get enough power. Couldn't push it ahead far enough. Slip in there. So I'll fix that. Otherwise, that's the only thing I have to fix on it. Yeah, I will. I go through and I clean the plugs. And this has got a magneto. This one has got a distributor on it. And it's also the difference between these two tractors, which this one has got a regular transmission. This has got a split transmission. It's got a high and low range in it. So you have to, a little bit more shifting. But this one's got a water pump. It won't heat as fast as this one will. But if you keep the radiator clean, they don't heat anyway. They run pretty darn good. Keep them clean, that's the point. That's the John Deere 1949 model. And here we have a WC Alice Chalmers. And this one, boy, when I bought it, the engine was stuck tight. And I got the engine loose and got it running. It's still sticking on one valve. I've got to take it apart and work on that because it's missing. Not all the time, but it's sticking up on there. So I got to check and see what's going on there. And the other thing is there's fluid in these tires. Generally, I take the fluid out of all the tires. This one, because I just got it not that long ago, I haven't had a chance. I got to get the fluid out of those tires or it's going to eat through the rims. They always seem to seep by the valve stem and they always have a tendency to eat the rim up. And both wheels, I'm going to take the fluid out. So the valves, engine, and the fluid, that's the thing that I have to work on this tractor. Otherwise, it's ready to go. Oh, I went through the starter, and that starter, it dragged like crazy. I took it all apart and put new brushes in it, new bearings to clean up the armature on the lathe over there, and I'll tell you what, it goes like an airplane motor now, just flies, starts right up. Same time I bought that WC, I bought this Oliver Hart Par 1937 row crop 70 tractor. It came with both rubber and steel wheels. It too had fluid in the tires, and one of the wheels was the rims was completely gone. I had to get a different wheel for the rubber. They're in the shed. But I like the steel wheels, so I put bands on it so I had the Amish make those bands for me. And they bent them on their machine. And now I can drive it on the blacktop. But other than that, this tractor is pretty much ready to go too. Oh, I'm going to grease it. I have to grease it up. All of them have to be greased. And you don't want to grease them too much. If you grease them too much, it seeps out and ruins your paint job. So you got to be careful on that. So, but other than that, a good hosing, and that'll be ready for show. 37. Last of the Hart Par Olivers. And then the last tractor I bought, and it just came a few weeks ago, was the Ferguson 1951 Harry Ferguson tractor. Came with a 2-bottom plow. That's down in the shop being painted right now. I got a coat of primer on it, and I got one coat of the red Ferguson paint. I just went through and filed the points and the plugs, and it was missing a little bit. It really improved it after I did that, but it still is missing a little bit. I'm going to get new points and new plugs for it, and I think that'll take care of it. There's something wrong with these Champion spark plugs. I don't know why, but they've been giving me trouble. I guess maybe they're old. Probably that's why there are old plugs in there. But this tractor has new rubber, new rims. Paint isn't too bad. I'll probably repaint it. It's got new fenders. It runs as nice as can be. You know, when I bought this tractor, the guy that sold it to me told me it was a 3-speed transmission. Anyway, after we got to scraping some of the grease off of the cover, a transmission cover, they had wore down the numbers 1, 2, 3, and you can't hardly read the 4. It's got so much paint on it, you can't even see it. And there it is. And so I was really surprised because they told me it goes down the road really slow. You put it in 4th gear and I don't think you can hold on to the seat. It goes fast. But anyway, it too needs a good cleaning. And I won't paint it this year. I'm working on an M right now for painting and cleaning it up. But this tractor starts right up, runs good. We've got a plow for it, got a cultivator for it. It's just a nice old tractor. Yeah, I never, you know, I always thought, well, this is for a hobbyist, maybe an orchard guy or somebody, but I never realized how these tractors handled. They got like power steering on it. They shift so nice, they ride so nice. It doesn't have live power, but it's got a power takeoff and a 3-point. We're going to put a 3-point blade on it. Like I say, we have a plow and cultivator. We're going to put a blade on it and a mower so we can mow around the farmyard. Well, I'm hoping for a good season, and I really would like to take him to some shows. I'm really glad that I can show these tractors to you on YouTube, because I don't know if anybody's ever going to see them. This is one way for me to share what I have with you. Just an update on the garden. I've been eating radishes out of it. The lettuce is up, but because of the weather, it isn't growing real good. It's slow. Onions, we've got 1 row of onions, 100-foot row weeded. We've still got 2 to go. Things are still pretty weedy here. The onions are nice and clean. I got the tomatoes clean. I just put these wires on yesterday, but not all of them. Some of them are smaller. The bigger ones I put wires on. Beans are coming up. Beans are coming up nicely now. We got a little bit of moisture. It was dry for a little while, cold and dry. Crabbies are just starting to come up. But look at here. These are my cauliflower. The cauliflower are really taking off. And my wife didn't want me to take the cans on. We keep the cans on for the purpose of the rabbits. We have a lot of rabbits back here, and the rabbits tend to eat them off. But they're so darn big, I had to take the cans off. And we haven't had a rabbit problem because we've had an eagle flying around here. And I see every once in a while, I see him sitting across the highway in the field eating the rabbit. So good for the eagle. Here we got some broccoli, and it's small. I'm leaving the cans on yet. And the cabbage is coming. Lima beans are coming down there. They're starting. We're really behind on the garden. It's really slow this year. Cabbage, I took the cans off the cabbage because they're large enough now. I don't think the rabbits will bother them. I had a hard time finding pepper plants. I like the bell peppers, sweet bell, and here they are. We've got, I don't know, what, 9 of them? And they're pretty good size. They're growing good. I'm real pleased with that. Bell peppers. In this area over here, I've planted my cucumbers and my butternut squash and acorn squash, and they're not up yet. I just put them in a couple days ago. And again, we've got the potatoes planted over there, 2 rows of potatoes. My 3rd planting of sweet corn is in the ground. I've got 1 more left, 1 more planting left to do. And the first planting of sweet corn looked really yellow, and it's because it was so cold and wet. Now that it's drying out more and we're getting heat, the color is completely changed on that sweet corn. All we have to do is weed it now. But it's coming along nicely. But I'll keep you updated on the garden as things are growing and let you know what happens. So far, so good. Yeah. You know, if you take pictures of those weedy onions, Mom's gonna kill you, because she wanted them clean before you took a picture.
I'm climbing up.
Climb aboard.
I'm not wearing the proper shoes and attire.
Okay, this is the clutch.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. And that's the brake over there.
Okay.
On your foot. Okay. Here's your shifting. 1, 2, 3, 4, and reverse. Okay.
What's the S?
Huh?
What's that?
That's start, but that's
Oh,
not work.
okay.
We don't use that.
Okay.
Don't worry about that. So we're going to start this thing up. I'm going to let you drive it.
Okay.
So
How hard do I push it? Oh, push it all the way down?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to turn the gas on here.
Okay.
It's in neutral now.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to turn the switch on. And the starting button is right here.
Okay.
This is your gas lever, your speed lever. We give it a little gas. We turn the key on.
Okay.
Like the second gear down here. So we're going to start it up. You got your foot on the clutch.
Mm-hmm.
It's out of gear anyway.
Yeah, I'll take another turn.
Yeah, we got these we got these show tractors running, got them out, assessed them, what has to be done before the shows. Now we're going to put them away, put them in the shed. And there you have it. They're not quite on par, but we will work on them and turn this and turn that and tweak this and tweak that, and we'll have them running good for the shows. Now we know what we have to fix on them anyway. See you again on Ozzie's Oddities. Thanks, everybody. I was checking out my radishes, and this is the third time I've been picking radishes out of this little patch, and she's got a pile down there already. So we're doing pretty good on the radishes. You know, the weather's been cold, and it seems like the radishes like that cold, wet weather because they've been producing, and they're tender and sweet like you wouldn't believe. I'm really enjoying this. So I got a few radishes, not real big yet, but I can't wait. I gotta eat them. There's more coming. I planted another second crop down there, so